Alright, and welcome back to my Metal Gear Solid Extreme Difficulty guided walkthrough. We ended the previous episode with the fight against the M1 tank, so now we're headed for our first meeting with Otacon. Now, as you know, on the first floor of this building, you are not allowed to use your weapons, supposedly because it can damage the stored warheads. However, as you would expect, this is purely artificial, as this is only an in-story explanation, but it was never designed as such. And later on in the game you can actually figure this out, because when you get the sniper rifle, you can fire underneath the door and kill the guards, or just randomly shoot wherever you like, and no poison gas is released. Anyway, this is another example of where you can get through a section without paying much attention to the guards, based on their starting position and the patterns in which they move. But just to be safe, and simply because we cannot have Metal Gear without the cardboard box, I just had to use the cardboard box. But the point is that if you move the way I do, immediately from the start, there's a clear and safe way to the elevator without the danger of being spotted. Oh, and another bit of trivia, it is actually possible to throw the guard near the elevator over the railing with your throwing move, and this will make the guard on the lower floor react to the noise, but when he gets there won't be an alert phase, because the enemies disappear in this game after being killed. So there's simply no body for him to discover. Okay, we're first going to need the Nikita launcher, and since I more or less have it as a personal rule to not unnecessarily kill any guards, we will leave the one in the bathroom where he is, as we are long gone before he gets to the center room in the first place. And for the guard who is already there, we're going to hide behind the box in the upper corner, and if you're not sure whether the coast is clear when you exit the room where the Nikita launcher is, remember that as long as the door isn't open, you won't be spotted. So you can check in first person mode if necessary, if you're just not sure where the guard is. By the way, as you saw, I also picked up some stun grenades, and as I've said multiple times before, those are going to be very important when we eventually get to the first communication tower. In fact, because I used them too much, I almost didn't have enough stun grenades for that part. And I don't actually remember whether this is tied to difficulty, but at the very least I can say that on extreme difficulty, items do not respawn if you exit and re-enter a building. Or at the very least not all of them. So you have to be a bit careful with using items and ammunition, since you can in fact run out of them. The Nikita section is the same on all difficulties as far as I can tell. Just don't touch the D-pad to make the rocket move fast enough to get past the camera turrets, and if you are afraid of hitting a wall, remember that your missile slows down immediately if you touch left or right on the D-pad. So you can move a bit more precise if you carefully rocket back and forth. An interesting little detail here, this is the only part of the game where you find a door with a lower security level than the lowest card that you can have at that moment in the game. Because obviously you cannot get here with only a level 1 card. Yet for some reason the first door is level 1. I wonder if that is another remnant of an earlier part in development, as in the previous 2 games you could only open doors with the specific card matching that number. Which was really annoying, as you couldn't tell which door had what number. So at the end you just had to randomly try out all 8 security cards at every single door. In fact, in the non-canonical sequel to the NES version of the first Metal Gear, I remember soft-locking myself because I missed security card 5, and you could still progress all the way up to the door before the final boss, which was level 5. But when you get there was no way to get that security card anymore, meaning you had to start the entire game over again. Yeah, the NES Metal Gears were just really poorly designed if you ask me.
It looks like they were cut by some type of blade. It's a ghost.
I know it's not exactly useful information, but I just like pointing out details, so here are some more. This soldier is still alive, as you can see, but after the boss fight he has bled to death. And the soldier against the wall is the only other example besides you yourself of someone using a SOCOM pistol. Anyway, time for another boss fight.
Stealth camouflage? Who are you?
Where is my friend?
What are you talking about? Oh, what next?
Snake.
You're that ninja.
I've been waiting for you, Snake.
Who are you?
Neither enemy nor friend. I am back from a world where such words are meaningless. I've removed all obstacles. Now you and I will battle to the death.
What do you want?
I've waited a long time for this day. Now I want to enjoy the moment.
What's with these guys? It's like one of my Japanese animes.
I've come from another world to do battle with you.
What is it, revenge?
It is nothing so trivial as revenge. A fight to the death with you. Only in that can my soul find respite. I will kill you, or you will kill me. It makes no difference. Fine. He can watch from inside there.
I need that man. Keep your hands off him.
Now, make me feel it. Make me feel alive again.
Okay, first phase is just nothing more than quickly hitting him twice with your standard 3-hit combo. That will already be enough to get to the second phase of the fight. But this is a very dangerous phase, because with this little health, you cannot take any damage at all. And I would definitely like to preserve my ration. And his spinning jumps are very hard to avoid. Even when you are running away, he can simply move faster than you. So you will need to make good use of the environment. You want to bait him to jump over the walls so that you can immediately hit him when he lands on the other side. Now, it is actually possible to break that animation if you hit him when he's just starting that move, but the point is that you do not want to rely on that. That should only be a last-ditch effort to save yourself if you cannot get away from him. His other attack is where he jumps up and kicks straight down. Even though it does create a shockwave, the hitbox is very lenient, so you can just move towards him for a counterattack as soon as he hits the ground. Although he recovers quickly, so you only have a very small window of opportunity to actually get some hits in. If you are too late, do not risk it and just get away. Alright, third phase of the fight. He will now go invisible, so make sure to use your thermal goggles. The first location is immediately revealed for some reason, but after that he will move to random locations. However, a likely place to find him is next to where Otacon is hiding, or the bookshelves on the right side of the room, or directly behind the wall in the center of the room. So run around and try to attack him before he has the chance to even move away from his spot. However, if you cannot find him, it's best to let him come to you and try to hit before he starts his attack animation. And due to the top-down camera perspective, it might also help to find him if you use your first-person view mode. But don't worry, if you make it through this phase, the fight is essentially over, because the final phase is very easy. He will teleport and do a slow punch, so all you need to do is to run around where he is teleporting, and after you dodge that slow punch, you can counterattack. Do this until you have drained his entire life bar. However, get away from him as soon as his life bar hits 0, because then he will have a barrier around him and that will instantly kill you. So when that happens, keep your distance and simply shoot him with your SOCOM, until the fight truly comes to an end.
That's it. I remember that punch. Do you remember, Snake? The feel of battle. The clashing of bone and sinew. That's good, Snake. Hurt me more. That's good, Snake. Hurt me more. Hurt me more. Hurt me. I felt that, Snake. Do you remember me now?
Can't be. You were killed in Zanzibar. What? Not again. What's happening?
I'm losing myself.
Is it over? Also, with this stealth camouflage, I can sneak in and out of the armory and mess hall. If you need ammo or rations, just tell me and I'll bring them to you.
Fire!
See you later.
Okay then, the quickest way to meet up with Meryl is to simply run immediately left when entering the center room. Meryl is guaranteed to be the guard on the left. And after the cutscene, there are no guards at all, so then you are free to pick up all the items in this area.
Don't move. That's the second time I've been able to sneak up on the legendary Solid Snake.
You're Meryl? There's no way you could pass for a man for long.
What do you mean? Hey, men aren't allowed in here.
I had no idea you were so feminine.
This is no time to try and hit on me, Snake. Besides, it's a waste of time. When I joined up, they gave me psychotherapy to destroy my interest in men. Card keys. You mean this? This card will open it. It was inside the pocket of... I'm more comfortable with it than I am with a bra.
Isn't that gun a little big for a girl?
Patriarchy, fuckface!
Okay, let's go. I know this place better than you. I'll be point man. Follow me.
Okay, very important, equip a cigarette and a Nikita launcher so that you will look like a total badass in the next cutscene.
That's strange. There's no guard.
What happened to the music?
I'll keep a lookout. Make sure you're ready, okay?
Alright, so as I said, now there are no guards anymore. You can just freely pick up all the items in this area.
Snake, what are you doing? Let's go to the commander's room.
Oh, you better get used to a guy you like going to the bathroom all the time. And since the game is going to get a bit pervy at this point, let's get a bit pervy ourselves.
What is it? What are you staring at? Come on, Snake. Don't stare at me like that. Snake, how do you like me?
What the?
Do you like me? Hold me, Snake.
What's wrong?
Oh, hurry, hurry, make love to me. Oh, Snake, I want you.
Who's that?
You don't like girls?
Okay, the quickest way to take Meryl out is to simply use a stun grenade. She will be knocked out instantly.
Useless woman.
Optic camouflage, huh? I hope that's not your only trick.
You doubt my power? Now, I will show you why I am the most powerful practitioner of psychokinesis and telepathy in the world. No, there's no need for words, Snake. I'm Psycho Mantis. That's right. This is no trick. It's true power. The demonstration is over.
Yeah, they like breaking the fourth wall. But it gives you time to switch to the second controller, as you know, which is an interesting design choice. So when you get control back, it's easiest to equip the thermal goggles, so you won't have to guess where Mantis will appear or by relying on the first person view now coming from his eyes. I prefer to have the SOCOM equipped, so I can either shoot him when he's at a distance or when he's close by that still allows me to punch him instead. He will now start throwing objects from the room at you. To avoid the chairs, you only need to keep crawling. And if you time it correctly, you can actually get a hit in when you get to Mantis when the chairs are farthest away from him. Or also possible when he moves the chairs back to their original place. I always screw up at the statues as those go in an arch through the center of the room. So I should have gotten out of the way earlier, but I got lucky. I skillfully dodged them. The two lamps will follow you across the room and never will the same one move twice in a row. You could just avoid them altogether by crawling, but that will also mean you are less likely to get an opportunity to hit Mantis. Okay, the deer heads have a distinct sound, so you can immediately recognize it when they are coming. Just crawl and let them go over you. Okay, when he makes the books and paintings go through the room, I instinctively want to crawl, but that doesn't work unless you are at the top of the room. They still hit you if you are crawling in the lower half of the room. But if you just move all the way down, you are guaranteed to avoid getting hit. Okay, so that were all of his moves during the first phase of the fight. And this pattern will simply repeat until you have depleted about half of his life bar, or 60%, something like that. So this is a long fight. It's all about patience. Now, in case you don't know about this, there's an alternative to using the second controller port. So if it's broken in your case or something, if you contact the kernel enough times, he will tell you about the second controller port. However, if you then let yourself die and continue, and contact the kernel again, he will give you an alternate method, namely destroying the heads on the two statues in the room. However, you can only do this if they already told you about the second controller port and died after that. Otherwise, it will not be an option yet. Okay, now he will use Meryl again, so just like before, a stun grenade will take her down instantly. However, after that, he will try to make her kill herself, and a stun grenade will be too slow. However, throwing her once is already enough.
You are powerful indeed, but I know your weak point. Meryl, stand right where he can see you
Meryl! No! It cannot be! No!
Alright, second phase starts off the same as the first one. The only real difference is that the part where he's invisible lasts a lot longer. Which is good actually, because that means he will have almost no health left when he starts throwing furniture at you again. Okay, now the furniture comes at you almost all together. The deer heads, the statues and the lamps are always together. And the other wave are the books, paintings and chairs together. The main difference is that now you have less opportunity to hit Mantis, as there is more to dodge or stay away from. But fortunately his life bar should reach 0 pretty soon by now. And there are no other phases and he will also not move from his spot anymore. So just be patient, and when his life reaches 0, the fight will be over. Okay, we're getting close, and that will also be the end of this episode. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget the notification bell, and check out my other walkthroughs. And of course, stay tuned for the next episode.